my younger sister.
So Linda, how are you doing today? It's Linda Vaughn, everybody. Linda, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. I'm blessed to be here. I flew through a lot of storms to get here. But that's my younger sister.
That's you. Where was that taken and what year was that?
Oh, I don't know. You have to ask Tom. He's over there. He's got the picture of you. I think that was taken in the 80s.
And you signed it? Who'd you sign it to? Do you remember?
The owner of the restaurant, Liz.
Oh, to Liz.
Where are you?
We're at Charlie Brown's Pancake House. That's right.
I didn't have any pancakes, but I had scrambled eggs.
Well, we just got to interview Paul Page about the answers.
That's what you said.
We're going to do your interview. You come back about the answers.
Yeah, okay, because I got to go back to my heart and I'll be back again.
Okay, well, I look forward to your interview, and it's always great seeing you. This is Sean Kurker with Voices Live On for Racing. I'm here with the legend, Linda Vaughn.
And I'm still alive. 75 is still alive. I'm so blessed and honored to be here at the PRI show. I started with it 31 years ago.
You got your book here.
My book's for sale. It's called The First Lady of Motorsports, which that's what they call me. It was written, the foreword by Don Gartlitz. But it's my life story in a pictorial form, and the next book will be more involved with a lot more interviews and conversations with different racers, and I'm real honored to have this one. The great Dan Gurney wrote stuff in it about me. The interview with Mario is just spectacular. So I'm really proud of it. Very, very honored to have my book.
So my first question is, what really inspired you to start being a fan of getting in the industry at the very beginning?
I used to slip off and go to the races.
How old were you?
I was
grade
just
school,
a kid.
high school?
I was in grade school, and I'd hear those cars running on Friday night, and I'd slip off and go down there. And I'd come back with this Georgia red clay all in my white blonde hair. And my mama said, "You've been down at that racetrack again." I'd get a whipping on Saturday night, but I'd be in church on Sunday. That's all right. I prayed about it every Sunday, but I didn't get my ass whipped every Saturday night for a long time. And finally, she says, "Well, I'm going to go down there and see what excites you, that you can get a whipping every weekend." So she went down there, and she liked it. She liked it. And then there's a few years went by, and I went into junior high and then high. And I got to follow in drag racing. And I went to see Don Gartlitz up at Brainerd Drag Strip, and I kept up with everybody in the papers, and I listened to the NASCAR races on the radio. So they had the Miss Atlanta Raceway contest, and I entered it. And my boyfriend said, "There ain't no way a redneck like you could go down there and win that contest." Well, I kicked butt and took names, and I won it, and that started my career.
How many 200. Girls? 200?
Yeah, 200.
You beat 200?
Yeah.
That's solid.
Yeah, it's real solid, because have you seen all these gorgeous girls from Georgia? My Lord, I didn't think I'd have a chance. But
you start traveling from that?
I won it, and I opened the doors to the future with Pure Firebird Racing Gasoline. They saw me, and they asked me if I would represent their company, in which I started representing their company and appearing at the tracks all over the South on the big red Firebird. And then we got bought out by Unical, and the Unit 76 race stoppers started, and I saw an ad for Miss Hurst Golden Shifter. Well, in the meantime, I've been working for the dentist at home. I'm a registered dental hygienist now, but I was working in the lab, and I saw Hot Rod Magazine says, "We are looking for a new Miss Hurst Golden Shifter." Well, guess what? They found it with her again. 300 girls were in this contest, and we had 2 preliminaries. I had to go to 2 different cities before we came to Georgia. So I went to Philadelphia, and I won that one, and I went to Los Angeles, and I won that one. I won the title of Miss Hurst Golden Shifter, came back to Georgia in 1966 and represented them ever since. That's quite a story.
Did you ever get behind the wheel?
Of course, of everything. What do you think I don't? Of course I do. Yeah.
What were some of the tracks you actually got to drive on?
Oh, drag strips, oval tracks, road course tracks, just about everything. I've driven on them. Thank you. But thank you. I appreciate Tom. Tom's been with me for 40 years. We worked together for 40 years.
Don't believe her.
Don't believe her? No.
I don't know what you said, but I didn't do it. Really.
Yes, he did. He dropped the camera. I fired him one day out on the middle of the racetrack. I said, "Tom, just get your camera and take this picture, but don't look up." He looked up and dropped the camera. It was President Bush, and God rest his soul.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. President Bush was a great friend of mine, and so is his son. I call him President Junior, and then of course big president. So he was wonderful, and my condolences go out to him and the family because I've already given a couple of interviews about him. He was probably one of the greatest of the old school presidents that come up through the military, and I was honored to meet him through General Curtis LeMay. So yeah, I was very honored to be a part of their team. So we included the armed forces in the races. So that's all snowballed all these years,
Right.
and we stayed friends. And I was at Daytona a few years ago when President Junior came down. He come taxiing in the runway, and we saw his plane. He come over, and I was with Richard Petty, and I was with Felix Sabatas, and the president come walking up, and he goes, "Hey, Linda, my daddy said for me to come and kiss you." I leaned over and I said, "Tell the snipers behind me on top of the tower not to shoot me, but you got shaving cream in your ear." So that's my stories with the presidents.
Okay. Well, how about Burt Reynolds?
Oh, well, we'll talk about him. Let me take care of my customers
Okay.
now and come
Well,
back and we'll talk Burt Reynolds. Okay?
Thank you for your
He'd have
time.
to bring that up.
Appreciate it.
Burt Reynolds was just a friend of mine.
Okay. All right. Thanks,
Just
Linda.
cousins, maybe, but no.